Aisha had always believed that life rewards those who stay patient, even when everything feels uncertain. Growing up in a small, modest home, she watched her parents struggle to make ends meet, yet they never allowed hardship to take away their dignity or kindness. Her father often told her that respect and honesty were the greatest wealth a person could carry, and her mother showed her that love is not always loud. Sometimes, it lives quietly in sacrifices no one sees. These lessons became the foundation of Aisha's life, guiding her through every challenge she faced as she stepped into the real world with dreams bigger than her circumstances. After completing her education, Aisha secured a job in a well-known company in the city. It was her first step towards supporting her family and building a better future. The office was fast-paced and demanding, and at the center of it all was her boss, Mr. Zane, a man known for his strict nature and high expectations. He rarely smiled, spoke only when necessary, and carried an aura that made everyone around him nervous. For most employees, he was someone to fear, not understand. But for Aisha, he was simply another challenge life had placed in her path. In the beginning, Aisha struggled to meet his expectations. She made small mistakes, and each time, Mr. Zane would correct her in a firm but fair tone. There was no harshness in his words, only a sense of discipline that demanded improvement. While others complained about him behind his back, Aisha chose a different approach. She observed him closely and realized that beneath his serious exterior was a man who valued hard work, sincerity, and commitment. Slowly, she began to improve, not out of fear, but out of respect for her work and the opportunity she had been given. Days turned into months, and Aisha's dedication did not go unnoticed. Mr. Zane started trusting her with more responsibilities, often relying on her to handle important tasks. Their conversations, once limited to instructions and corrections, gradually became more human. He began asking about her family, her goals, and her thoughts. Aisha noticed that in these moments, his strict personality softened, revealing glimpses of someone who had known struggle himself. She learned that he had built the company from the ground up after facing countless failures, losing people he loved, and sacrificing personal happiness for professional success. Despite their growing understanding, Aisha maintained a respectful distance. She never allowed emotions to cloud her judgment or professionalism. For her, Mr. Zane was her boss, someone she admired for his strength and discipline, but nothing beyond that. However, life has a way of quietly changing the direction of relationships without announcing its intentions. One evening, as heavy rain poured outside and most employees had already left, Aisha stayed back to complete an urgent project. Mr. Zane noticed the light still on in her cabin and walked in, surprised to see her working alone. He offered to help, and for the first time, they worked side by side as equals rather than boss and employee. In that quiet moment, with rain tapping against the windows, they shared stories of their lives, their fears, and their dreams. Aisha spoke about her family and her desire to give them a better life, while Mr. Zane spoke about loneliness, about how success often comes at the cost of personal connections. That night changed something between them, though neither of them spoke about it. It was not love at first sight or a dramatic realization, but a quiet shift, like a seed planted deep within their hearts. They began to understand each other not just professionally, but emotionally. As time passed, people in the office started noticing the change. Mr. Zane was still strict, but there was a calmness in his behavior, especially when dealing with Aisha. Rumors began to spread, but Aisha ignored them, focusing on her work and responsibilities. She knew how easily respect could be questioned, and she refused to let anything damage the reputation she had built with honesty and hard work. One day, Mr. Zane called Aisha into his office. His expression was serious, but there was something different in his eyes, something uncertain. He spoke slowly, choosing his words carefully, and told her that he wanted to discuss something important, not as her boss, but as a person. He admitted that he had developed feelings for her, not because of her beauty or presence, but because of her character, her patience, and the way she carried herself through difficulties. He made it clear that he did not expect an answer and that her comfort and respect mattered more than anything else. Aisha was taken by surprise. Her heart was filled with confusion. She respected him deeply, but the idea of marrying her boss felt overwhelming. She thought about her family, her values, and the society they lived in. She asked for time, and Mr. Zain agreed, without hesitation. That night, Aisha sat with her parents and shared everything. Her father listened quietly, while her mother watched her with gentle concern. After a long silence, her father spoke, reminding her that life decisions should be based on character, not titles or fears. He told her that if the man respected her, valued her, and treated her as an equal, then his position as her boss should not define the relationship. Her mother added that love built on respect and understanding is stronger than any social judgment. Aisha spent days reflecting on her feelings. She realized that her respect for Mr. Zain had slowly grown into something deeper, something she had not acknowledged before. It was not a sudden emotion, but a steady, quiet connection built over time through trust and understanding. When she finally gave her answer, it was simple yet sincere. She agreed, not out of pressure, but with a clear heart and mind. Their marriage was not a grand, extravagant event, but a simple and meaningful ceremony attended by close family and a few trusted colleagues. It was a union built on respect, patience, and mutual understanding. Married life brought new challenges. Aisha was no longer just an employee, she was also a partner. They had to balance their personal and professional lives carefully, ensuring that neither relationship overshadowed the other. There were moments of misunderstanding, times when work stress affected their communication, and days when expectations felt heavy. But instead of letting these challenges break them, they chose to face them together. Aisha helped Mr. Zain reconnect with the emotional side of life he had long ignored. She reminded him that success is not just measured in achievements, but also in relationships and moments of happiness. Mr. Zain, in return, supported Aisha's growth, encouraging her to pursue her dreams and never limit herself. He treated her as an equal, valuing her opinions and respecting her independence. Years passed, and their bond grew stronger with each challenge they overcame. They learned that love is not about perfection, but about understanding imperfections and choosing to stay together despite them. They built a life filled with quiet happiness, where respect spoke louder than words, and actions carried more meaning than promises. One evening, as they sat together watching the sunset, Aisha smiled softly and said that she never imagined she would marry her boss. Mr. Zain smiled in return and said that he never imagined he would find someone who could teach him the true meaning of life. In that moment, they both realized that their journey was not about titles or positions, but about two people finding comfort and strength in each other. Their story became a reminder that love does not always come in expected ways. Sometimes, it grows quietly in places we least anticipate, shaped by patience, respect, and understanding. It teaches us that true relationships are not built on status or appearances, but on the values we carry within us. The moral of their story is simple yet powerful. When respect forms the foundation of a relationship, love finds its way naturally. Life will always bring challenges, misunderstandings, and hardships, but if two people are willing to stand by each other with honesty and patience, they can turn even the most unexpected journey into something beautiful and meaningful.